My loves, good afternoon. Even if it looks like it's dark enough to be 9 o'clock in the evening, it's not. Happy December. I hope you guys are having an easy one so far, like I am. It's been a day off work, but I've been getting some stuff done. Little reset day, some laundry, reordered my contact lenses, done some food shopping, some life admin, some time wasting, lots of sleeping, all the good things. I've also been very happily getting myself into the festive spirit, even if a little bit early, especially considering this year I won't actually be going home for Christmas, sadly I have to work. I have some podcast prep and some writing for a little, I don't even want to use the word project because I hate when influencer people or YouTubers use the word project. It always feels very cringe, even if it is something that can very easily be defined and described as a project. A little thing I'm working on is something I'm going to be writing this afternoon now that it's dark. It's probably time for the third coffee of the day. It's that kind of lovely, cozy writing mood. But in today's little chill vlog, I also want to share with you guys another laughably easy recipe that you'll also be able to find on maverickbake.com, along with all of my other festive and regular recipes, to see if you guys enjoy this kind of recipe format instead of the kind of straight up recipe video format. In the most recent vlog, we made a Bailey's panna cotta with a chocolate ganache on top with a little kind of built-in review at the same time. Let me know in the comments if this kind of format is something you like, or if you prefer the dedicated, shorter, faceless recipe video format. But today I want to share with you a super simple homemade salted caramel sauce, the kind that you can make days, even a week or so in advance, and keep in the fridge for almost anything at this time of year. I say this because I've been making this or variations of this for about 4 to 5 years now, and there's very few things, edible things, that this doesn't go well with. I'm being deadly serious. It's also great with any kind of chocolatey or vanilla-y or coffee-based dessert. It's great with anything cinnamon-based. It's great in porridge. It's great on toast, if thinly. It's great with a little bit of salted butter. It's even good with cheese. I'll let you do what you want with that information, but I've done the research for you, and I enjoy doing it. It also makes a good dinner party thing to bring, or if you're particularly skint or out of ideas for little homemade gifts to give people, this is a good one. You can adjust the saltiness as much as you like. I love a proper salty, almost savory salted caramel, so I do add quite a lot. Feel free to leave the salt completely out if you just want a basic caramel sauce. Super customizable. You can also choose to use either white or demerara sugar based on the kind of depth of that caramel flavor that you're looking for. All you're going to need to make it is the following: butter, salted or unsalted, again based on your salty requirements. You're going to want to cut it up into small cubes just to help for kind of melting purposes later. You're also going to need some double cream, about 120 mils. You're going to need some salt, ideally flaky or kind of big grain salt. You're going to need a little bit of water, half a mug or half a cup's worth, and you're also of course going to need some sugar. As I said, you can use white or brown demerara sugar. Today I used demerara because it's what I had, but feel free to use white. In fact, if it's your very first time making caramel, I'd probably recommend using white. It's easier to monitor the color of the caramel that way. You're only going to need one pan for this. I would recommend using one that isn't really dark, because again, that way you can monitor kind of the color and the bubbles and just the nature of the whole thing. So ideally use like a ceramic or a silver stainless steel pan instead of like a black non-stick kind of thing. And you're just going to want to put your sugar and your water in there. Put it over a kind of medium heat. I use an induction hob. If you use one of those, I would maybe say around, you know, the number 5 or 6 at most. If you're on gas, keep it at a kind of halfway flame. And just to get things going and to start the dissolution process, you can give the sugar and the water a little bit of a stir just to get everything mingling. But from then on, you are not going to stir this until you add the dairy later on, okay? Well, there is only water and sugar in that pan. Do not touch it with anything, especially your fingers, because the skin will come off. I'm not joking. And you're then just gonna have to exercise some patience while still remaining ever near the pan and not running off to do other things in the meantime, because it's a pan of boiling sugar and water. You're not gonna wanna leave it on its own. Basically what will start to happen is the sugar will slowly begin to dissolve as the water gets warmer. The most movement you're going to want to do is a little kind of swivel, a little swirl, a little shuggle, as we would say in Scotland, just to get the sugar and the water all mingled together and dissolving without touching it. The reason we don't want to touch it with any kind of instrument, whether it's plastic, silicone, metal, wood, anything, is that the reaction with the hot sugar and water, for whatever bloody reason, can cause the sugar to crystallize, and it just becomes this disgusting kind of semi-solid broken glass looking mess that isn't good or salvageable in any means. You're then just going to leave it alone. You're going to stand nearby, not too nearby, because again, skin gone, and you're just going to want to watch as it begins to bubble. Now, to begin with, it will start to look just like simmering water. The bubbles will be pretty small and they'll be very fast, and it will look very liquidy, and then slowly with time, you will start to see that those bubbles start to get bigger. They start to pop a lot kind of slower, you know, they start to take longer to burst, and it will become more of a gentle looking boil, even though the temperature is increasing rapidly. And eventually, just slowly, after 10 to maybe 15 minutes maximum, that will start to reduce. Those bubbles will start to burst even slower and get even bigger, and you will notice that it's a more kind of thick, syrupy consistency. Now, the best test for when the kind of caramel phase is ready and complete will be if you're using white sugar. It will change from this kind of colorless clear syrup into a lovely golden and then dark golden mixture. Now, you can take it as dark as you like, though there is a very fine line between dark golden and burnt. Burnt never tastes good, even if it looks good. But if you like a slightly softer flavor, you can leave it more golden rather than kind of darker brown. If you're using demerara sugar instead, like I did, you're just going to want to keep an eye on it until it becomes thick, syrupy, and you notice those bubbles are taking a long time to pop. They're getting nice and big before they burst. What you're then going to want to do is toss in your butter, ideally cubed and small, just for kind of even melting, and use a whisk very carefully off of the heat. So like you could leave the pan on, but just switch the heat off and just whisk until it's all combined. Then you're going to want to add your cream, and then you're going to want to add your salt, and just keep on whisking until everything is nice and combined and smooth and homogeneous. Then you're just going to want to put it into whatever receptacle you want to keep it in. I put it into 3 little kind of glass jars. If you have one big jar, if you have a bowl or some kind of heat-proof thing that you're going to be putting it in, put it in that. Do be careful. Of course, you know, you are going to want to taste it as it cools down to make sure that it does actually have the quantity of salt that you like, but do be patient in doing so because it is super hot. And that is it. I'm not joking. That is all you need to make this salted caramel sauce. Now, you can use it straight away if you're having some kind of warm dessert, if you're having like a crumble or a pie or a cheesecake, or you want to have it over ice cream, or you just want to spoon it into your mouth warm, because I would completely understand. Or you can allow it to cool before then putting it in the fridge to have an almost more spreadable consistency, depending on what you want to use it for. It can be rewarmed very carefully in the microwave or on a pan, and that's about it. The rest is all up to you, folks. And I cannot wait to use it. I've already tasted it and added a little bit more salt than you saw immediately in the video, because just for me personally, it was tasting too sweet and buttery, and I just wanted a little bit more salt. Basically self-explanatory really, but I've been yapping enough. My cup is empty, so I'm gonna go and get myself some more coffee, have a little sweet snack, and get into some more prep, some writing, and just have a lovely chill sat on my arse kind of afternoon. Also completely forgot to flex earlier that when I was at the supermarket, I picked up these little lebkuchen hearts, which I haven't had for like 2 years. They're from Balsen, these particular ones, which I don't think I've tried before. Other Balsen biscuits and stuff like that, yes. Normally when I get these, I get them from like Aldi or Lidl, so we'll see how they are. If you've never had them before, they're like little heart-shaped pieces of a kind of soft, spicy gingerbread cake that have this like apricot jam filling and a dark chocolate coating. My mouth is watering, help. But it's been a long time since I had them and I thought we'd pick them up. So alongside a little bit of German, Austrian culture, don't kill me in the comments, I think it's German. My German teacher at university gave me one once. That doesn't mean they couldn't be Austrian, but you know what, you get what I'm trying to say. Along with a little bit of German Austrian culture, I'm also hoping to inject a little bit of what I'm concerned is mandatory British culture into the life of my lovely Italian this evening, because I really want to watch Love Actually. You know, it's Christmas in a couple of weeks and I haven't watched it yet, so we'll see if I'm successful.